Hey everyone, welcome back. It is another Tuesday and we are here tonight doing some readings, and hopefully for those of you catching a replay, we're able to see me live because tonight we're doing speed readings. I don't do them all the time, but tonight I was feeling like it, and basically speed readings, if you can catch me live. Oh, I forgot to close this other. I've got two web camera tabs open. Don't want to suck my internet. Okay. I'm very choppy right now. I'm not trusting the vibes of the internet tonight. But speed readings are basically me kind of rapid firing through a bunch of people at once. So it's a good night because almost everyone gets an answer, although answers are a lot shorter, maybe not as accurate because I'm doing them so fast, but you can still donate tonight and get a longer reading. So hello, welcome. So if you're new here, please remember to subscribe and to basically see when I'm going to be live next. I do have events or an event schedule up on my website, and I always have that linked in my link tree and in the description of this, all my live events down below. I'm going to be doing a group reading first, so I will say, like, I'm not going to be answering any questions for like a few minutes, but we will get there. So you guys are already jumping in on it. Hey everyone, thank you. So hang tight. I speak my truth. I'm going to do a group reading and then I'll get to you first. But that's kind of the theme for tonight. There's nothing other than just kind of like doing speed readings. Hey Lori, welcome. And let's see, I'm going to set my timer for our member. So if you are a member and this timer goes off and you comment closest to it, then you get a free reading for the night. A little bit longer too. Sorry, I'm like super parched. Thank you guys for being here. And thank you. I speak my truth. She's just like, give it to me. All right. Let's see. So the only announcement that I wanted to make, even if you are watching replay, quick backstory. So I used to have memberships on my channel. I obviously have like the literal one membership tier that I do have. I'm just gonna write down, hang on, because I'm worried I'm gonna forget about you. I speak my truth and I don't want to scroll up like 200 pages. Okay, anyway, okay, thanks. Once we get to the end of the group reading, feel free to throw up your question. What was I going to say? Announcements. Yes, so I used to have memberships. Basically, I had a tier where we had live nights for members only. So we did these nights, but it was kind of a little bit more private and secluded, and we only had so many people in there. It was a lot of fun. And then we had another tier up that was member only videos. So you got a whole nother video that everyone else didn't get. So my question and my big ask for you guys, even if you're watching replay, leave it in the comments. I would really like to know, even if you don't plan on it, if you were to pay for a subscription from me, like what would it be that you would be most interested in? Would you be interested in more videos? Would you be interested in coaching? Would you be interested in more live nights? Would you be interested in like more personalized readings, like pick a cards? I'm just trying to get a pulse on what you guys like. As far as my memberships, I want to reintroduce them this year, but I had so few people to start out with that I just like, I didn't know what you guys liked. And then I just put too much on myself and it was like way too overwhelming. And there was like weeks where I was doing several videos a week and it was just way too much. But let me know what you guys would want to see for those of you who were in that. If you can think about it, you can leave it on another message or another video, or you can send me an Instagram message. But that would be super helpful. That's like my big ask for you tonight. If you can do that, because then it helps me just kind of cater my memberships when I do come out with them towards you guys, and kind of something that is of benefit to you. Because I know that people won't pay for a membership if they're not interested in the benefits, if that makes sense. All of the above, a little bit of everything. Okay, let me just read these or else I'll forget. A little bit of everything: coaching, personal readings. So basically, Carolyn is saying everything I do plus more. Okay. Coaching and personal readings. And when I say personal readings, I'm kind of talking like pick a cards for the month or for whatever. I don't know what I'm trying to say. For those who join the membership, maybe free readings. Yeah, I did think about that. Doing like free readings for those who join the membership. My fear was though that like, what happens if I get like 200 members and then I have to commit to like 200 readings a month, but maybe I could just change it if that happens. I don't know. I know I need to start thinking about it because my guides are really pushing me to do it. And I'm just like, I don't know what to do. Okay. Cheyenne likes the live readings the most. I know. And that's where I kicked myself in the butt with my channel is I'm putting up how-to videos, but then I'm also putting up live readings. So I kind of have two different groups of people. I have the people who like the lives, and then I have the people that like the how-tos, and some of them don't cross over. And so that's where I'm kind of getting lost with these memberships is like, do I offer more lives? Do I offer more videos? Coaching and personalized. Like once a month. Okay. But yeah, feel free. Keep sending those in throughout the night if you're starting to think about it and you're like, what do I like most about Lauren's channel? Like, what would I be like, yes, give me more of? Or like, what do you feel like I don't give enough of on my channel? That's probably the best question to ask. Like, what is it that you're just like, oh my gosh, I need more of this? And every time that comes up, I will just consume it like nobody's business. And I think I've gotten a little bit more cognizant of this because I'm also like a Patreon or a subscriber to other people. And I'm kind of understanding like what it means to be on that other end of it. Anyway, let's jump into it. So, message for everyone for tonight. I have 3 piles tonight, just to kind of give you guys a little bit more personalized of a reading since we're going to be doing shorter stuff tonight. So I have pile 1, I have pile 2, and pile 3. So if you need to, take a second to figure out which pile is meant for you. I'm going to flip these over. And I will say that the question that I just asked for tonight was like, what do we need to be doing to manifest whatever it is that we want? Because I feel like for the most part, we come into these reading nights and we're wanting something. We're wanting a better relationship. We're wanting to attract a better job, more money, whatever it is. So I kind of just did a general, like, how can we manifest this thing that we want more? So pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and let's start with pile 1. Pile 1, you got Temperance as your first card. And I love this card because Temperance is basically saying that, like, things are not the best right now, and it feels maybe like you're being put under pressure, like metal being like tempered, or I don't know if metal is right, but like think about like when you like form diamonds, for example, you have to put those minerals. I don't know. You have to put it under extreme pressure, and then it basically forms into its own new, completely different thing. And so I feel like going with the flow of the universe trying to like force you into this new box that you feel like, oh, this isn't working, instead of fighting it, going with that flow of, what, the universe is trying to shape me, turn this situation into something that I'm not necessarily expecting. Like when I think of the Temperance card, I think of like when everything in life is going wrong and you feel like you're just being pushed in all the wrong directions and you keep trying to fight back and like force what you want to have happen. And the quicker you can kind of give into this, it's more like, oh, okay, my guides are trying to push me in a different direction, one that I maybe didn't see before. And then we have reflect on your priorities, pile number 1, last quarter moon in Aquarius. And to me, this is, it makes sense. It's sort of saying maybe your priorities are not aligned with your intention. And because of that, you're trying to push a direction that's just not making sense. I need to fix this light. Hang on. And so that's why you're coming up against all these blocks. And this thing that you're trying to have is just not manifesting. Ooh, okay. And then I pulled one last card. What was the last card? What was the question? What did I ask? it was something along the lines of like, what else do we need to know about manifesting this thing? I actually feel like this is for a very specific amount of people out there. And this is saying, beloved, prepare for your life partner. Romance is returning to your relationship. Believe you are lovable. So if this isn't you, if you don't feel like you've been trying to manifest this, just kind of ignore this part. I mean, heck, it could even be that you are trying to love a new part of yourself, and that's maybe what's being asked of, maybe what's being called for. But for those of you who are trying to manifest a romantic relationship like this, and oh my gosh, and the butterflies are all about transformation, which again, with that temperance being tempered, like I feel like they're saying, hey, you're going through this stuff because you're supposed to be. We're trying to kind of turn you into a different direction. Go with the flow because we're trying to get you this end goal of what you're trying to manifest. But instead of fighting it, understand that it's all part of the process. It's all part of the plan, if that makes sense. There's one other specific thing that that comes with this card. And if you follow me on Instagram, I shared Karamo Brown's, he had like a little reel, and he said something so perfectly. And of course, I don't remember it now, but like they were instantly putting that into my head because I know that has something to do with it. And I think he said something along the lines of like, storms don't always come into your life to just destroy everything. Sometimes they come in to clear the path to what you want to manifest. And I think that was right. And like that specific, the way he said it, I think was very important for me to like communicate. Because I feel like you guys are like, oh, if I give in, if I surrender to the universe, I'm not going to get this thing. But it's like, no, you're just trust us. So that's pile number one. Again, the relationship part of that, only for some of you guys, I feel. Let's see, pile number two. You can do a live stream like this, one for free readings. That's true. I speak my truth. I had that happen because not everyone would join the live night every single month. And sometimes we would only have like 2 people in the live night, which was fantastic because then I got to spend a lot of time with those people. So this is kind of confirming to me that maybe I did have a good system going and maybe I was just not ready for it. We'll see. Hello, everyone. So we're doing the group reading first, and then we're going to jump into the individual readings. So I just pulled pile 1. We're about to do pile 2, and then we'll finish with pile 3. So pile 2, whatever you're trying to manifest, here is the guidance. The energy that you need to go into it. And this card, well, I'll first say, is Page of Pentacles. And Page of Pentacles is all about fresh start, new energy, and especially in regards to like your practical everyday life, like the very physical human part of life, like not spiritual, not emotional, not the stuff that's going on in your head. It's like the day-to-day stuff, your job, your home, all of that. It kind of needs some fresh ideas, some new thinking, new energy, period. And I was laughing because I don't know if you can see, but his like one arm over here is like super ripped. And like his shirt looks like it ripped because he's so muscular. But every time I look at this card, I always see that. And I'm just like, that's silly. I don't think it was intentional. And then I have for pile 2, make time for self-love. And I will just give you the third card, trust. So to me, this is kind of saying, what is this? Libra, balance. I feel like with pile number 2, I feel like this is where I was like all of last year. I'm kind of getting this energy of when you don't take care of yourself, when you don't put yourself first, you're not going to manifest anything. Because if you can't show up, if you can't follow through, if you can't put in some of the work for the universe, or even be ready to receive it when it is here at your doorstep, like you're just not going to be ready. Okay, my guys are totally being smartasses tonight because they're like, that was the whole thing with your memberships. Like, this pile's for you. I can hear them. They're being smart with me. Make time for self-love. Like, focusing on you guys. Shush. Thank you for the message, but shush. Make time for self-love. So I think, especially for you guys, it feels like The issue is because you're not giving yourself that time to rest or recuperate, or maybe you need more sleep or more water, or you just need to take care of yourself. Or maybe you need to get rid of things that aren't serving you. And because you're not doing that, it's a lot harder for you to manifest these things. And especially when we're talking about the Page of Pentacles, I feel like this is like the things in your practical everyday life. Like I'm really feeling like it's routine based. Again, like getting enough water in. I'm specifically hearing for some of you, it might be that you need to like change up your living situation as much as you can, because it's not being conducive for you. But it's like when you are aligned, when you are high vibrational, because you're taking care of yourself and putting yourself first, you're able to manifest what you want a lot easier. And then trust. I feel like, and this is, I think, for an additional few of you where it feels like part of why you're not, okay, they're talking really fast tonight. I've also had a super busy week. Thank you, Larry. I'm going to get to you after this group reading. But what was I going to say? Trusting, leap into the unknown, have faith and move forward, believe you will fly. And I was listening to a podcast and they're putting this in my head. And basically what this is about is that you guys have not been manifesting a whole lot, like at all recently. And I get it. Like I've been in this zone. I think we've all been in this zone. I think 2021 was really rough, but I really do feel like 2022 is like flipping that energy. Like tell me if you guys feel the same about this year. I feel like I've been manifesting way faster. But specifically for pile number 2, I think because you guys are so down about like what you haven't manifested, you're kind of not trusting that it could happen for you. And the podcast that I was listening to, I can't remember who it was, but the phrase is specifically coming up of whoever this was said that your belief, your trust of the divine, it starts in those really teeny tiny miracles, like not the big life-changing miracles, but the little tiny ones where, something just serendipitous happened and you're like, oh, that was cool. Thank you. Wow. And really, when you don't feel like you have any belief or any trust in the universe, adding up all of those tiny, tiny miracles is how you gain trust again. It's how you find belief again. And I really love that quote. Whoever it was that I said that, if I remember, I'll try to put it in the comments. But that's been sticking with me a lot. And I feel like that's absolutely you guys for pile number 2. Awesome. Pile number 2. I could totally use more sleep. Lori's like, how can I kick her out? No, just kidding. Woohoo! Okay, pile number 3, the Empress. And this again was, how can you manifest? Okay, this is semi-similar. Okay, so the Empress, I love this card because this is like the manifestation card. And I loved how my tarot teacher described this because this card is literally physical form. She's got all of this like grass and trees and water and a bunch of growth around her. And she's sitting in this throne and she's like, yes, look at all that I have manifested. And what's cool is the Emperor comes after her and he kind of like puts up boundaries around her and it like contains it a little bit more. But the Empress is the one who's just like abundant, like fertility. It's just nonstop. It just keeps multiplying. So to me, this is saying that you guys are actually probably not having as much issues with manifesting as you think. This is almost to me saying like you guys are in the flow right now. So just keep staying in that flow and keep doing what you're doing because what you're doing is manifesting you a lot. Yeah. And then interesting. Okay. This card's throwing me off, but I got full moon in Capricorn, take a reality check. Because when I think of Capricorn energy, I think of very like logistical, very planned, very analytical. Capricorns usually are people who are very good with like business and like progression and what's the word I'm looking for? business. I don't know. But actually, I think I get this because with the full moon in Capricorn taking a reality check, I actually feel like this is what this is the product of you guys doing such a good manifestation job. Or no, sorry, this is what has caused you to manifest so well. It's like you guys have been putting in the time, you've been putting in the effort, you've been making your lists, you've been, I wanted to say checking them twice, but that's not the same. Why am I so silly tonight? I feel like this is our guides a little bit talking through me. What was I going to say? Capricorn energy, sorry, though, is about, I just feel like you guys have been planning. Like you guys came at this from a very logical perspective and you're like, I'm going to make this plan and I'm going to execute it. And because you did that, very analytical, you guys are manifesting what you want to manifest. So I think that this card popped up to show you guys why it's working so well. So kind of stay in that energy. But I think this last card is almost this opposite energy. And this is magic. Believing in magic, making a wish, believing in miracles, magic surrounds you. And I kind of feel like, honestly, this is the two energies that you need to manifest anything. You kind of need the analytical approach of like, okay, my guides aren't just going to plop this into my lap. I have to do some of it, whether that's I have to write a resume, I have to go out and meet people, I have to do half the work. But this is the other half, and that's just the belief stuff that I was talking about, just believing that it's going to happen. So if anything, pile number 3, if you guys feel like you're struggling, it's almost that same message of believing in miracles, believing that it is going to work out. And maybe the fact that you guys don't necessarily believe that all the time is kind of what's keeping you stuck and maybe blocking some of that energy that's coming through. All right, that feels good. Woohoo! So that was our group reading. I do that at the beginning of all of our live nights just so that we can have a message for everybody, even if you didn't catch me live. So keep that in mind. If you ever miss me, you can still get that group reading. Anyways, okay. Silly Rabbit, you've always got some interesting food that you're eating. I totally agree, Carolyn. All right, so before we get into speed readings, because individual readings are next, we did have 2 donations. First was I Speak My Truth, and second was Larry. So let me catch up on them. Actually, feel free to ask your questions, you guys, both Larry and I Speak My Truth. And then once, again, with the whole night, basically, if somebody donates, I put them to the top of my list first. And then after that, we'll jump back into the speed readings, which I'm excited to do. All right, I Speak My Truth. Let's see, you donated 15, so I'm going to do, okay. Now, I've been really getting in touch with the tarot cards. I've been really enjoying using them. Now that I feel like I finally kind of know them. I remember thinking it was such a big obstacle learning the tarot. And then when I finally sat down to do it, I was like, oh, it's just practice. Just like anything else. Just double checking because they told me to pull a spread. I'm just going to pull all the cards at a time. I feel like I Speak My Truth. This is almost an extension of the manifesting chat. Yeah. Because I feel like this is almost like a continuation for you. And let's see. So the first card I pulled was the 10 of Cups. And I feel like this is sort of representing your past in that life was good. Everything felt awesome. Maybe you felt really close to your friends and family. You have everything, or you had everything you needed and wanted. And life was just this magical, like, rainbow of happiness. Like, these kids are dancing. This mom and this dad are like, yay. And so life has been really good in the past. And I actually feel like, lately you're not necessarily feeling that way because we have the Four of Pentacles that's coming up next. And just like the colors alone, this is kind of like gray, muted. And this, even though this is about pentacles, I kind of also feel like this is about your emotions. And this king is sort of like holding on to all of these pentacles. And I feel like this is you with your energy. You're kind of keeping your energy close. You're kind of like protecting yourself and protecting what you do have. I mean, that literally could be like family, money, the things that you like practically have. But it could also just be like your boundaries. You're trying to protect your boundaries and like yourself because maybe you've been through some difficult stuff lately. And I think that's okay. I think that's where you should be at the current state. But the future card that they give, this is like seriously my favorite card in the tarot. I kind of want to get a tattoo of it. I haven't quite decided. But the Sun card is all about like possibility, hope, excitement, happiness, optimism. And when this shows up in your future, this is saying like you can have this again. This can come back into your life. And right now you've been very like conservative of your energy and like everything that's going on. So maybe you're not so optimistic. Maybe when you look into the future, you're like, I don't know about this. Like, I don't know if things are going to be good again, is like how I feel like your energy is. But your guides are really pushing you to try to imagine the things that could be. And also celebrate the successes and the things that are going right now, because that's how you get into the Sun energy, is you are grateful and you are appreciative for what you do have. And then you start to get into that energy more, you start to attract more. And this is where you kind of step back into. So I feel like this is a promise of like the sunshine is coming again. And it's so perfect because the what is this unicorn card that I pulled for you? Does that even have a unicorn? I just realized that doesn't have like a whatever it's called. Even though this is my unicorn deck, it doesn't have one of those. Possibility. Raise your standards, elevate your expectations. You have unlimited potential. I just feel like your guys are trying to give you a pep talk and basically say like, look, the reason why things aren't bigger and better is because you are expecting them to not be. So start there. Start with your mindset. And then the last card I pulled, I'll just mention really quickly. Breathe through the tension. I think this card is absolutely about just understanding that, hey, life isn't peachy keen all the time, and that's okay. But it doesn't mean you have to go into this downward spiral. You can breathe through it. You can kind of move through it and not let it affect you so much, so that you can, again, move towards more successes and more happiness. That's a great card. Which card? The possibility card? Anyways, all right. Thank you. I speak my truth. I hope that helped. I feel like your guys were basically just trying to give you like a, don't worry, be happy pep talk. All right. And so Larry wanted to know about my parents who have passed 20 years ago. Are they okay? Oh, that's a long time. I should have grabbed my mediumship cards for tonight. Okay. And you donated 10. Cross off this. And I'm just kind of calling out to them and trying to tune into their energy. They feel really far away to me, which like makes sense to me, because if they've been passed for 20 years, I feel like the longer time goes on, the less spirits kind of like hang around. Not true for everybody, but if, they kind of got other things to do and they're not as attached to this life as they once were. And so that's kind of like the energy that I'm getting from them. And like when I'm asking them for any messages, there's kind of just like, oh, we're not really paying attention much. That doesn't mean they don't love you. That doesn't mean they're not okay. It's just kind of this indifferent energy. And it's interesting because I pulled the Hierophant and I immediately got like religious stuff, religious beliefs. And I feel like, were they very religious people? Because I feel like they were, and they're wanting to talk about that specifically. And I'll just say what I'm getting. But I feel like they're trying to come in and be like, no, we were like justified in believing those beliefs. You know, whether or not those gods or whoever they believed in that specific religion was right, it was true to them and it helped them live a guided life, is what they were saying. And I think there's some question of like, was that the right path? And they're like still kind of sticking true to it, which is interesting to me. Yes. Okay. And honestly, I'll tell you, Larry, like, if anything, and I don't want this to come out, I'm going to preface this a lot because spirits have their own agendas, they have their own bias, and I should say, like, people that we know who have passed, they will still sometimes have those beliefs, biases, and agendas for a long amount of time. That doesn't mean it's always right for you, but like literally what they're trying to tell me is like, we chose the right way, and we're like still super sure about this, and you should be sure about this. But like, never would I condone choosing your beliefs off of a spirit, because one, I could be wrong and could be connecting wrong, but two, that's them and that's not for you and your energy, and you're a different person. And personally, I believe that we all kind of believe in the same thing, we just come at it from different ways. But there's kind of like this defiance in a little bit of ways that I'm getting from them of like, no, we don't regret this. And then I also pulled the trust card, and it has like faith, trust. I'm just going to ask like why they are so caught up on like letting you know they were right. Because that to me feels like a very unenlightened, very human kind of energy to have. I think it's, and my guides are saying it's because deep down they care about you and they want you to be safe and okay, but it's like they know you're going to end up in the same place no matter what. So it really doesn't matter. I think at the core of this, it's just knowing that they're a little bit biased, and that's okay. You don't have to like listen to that if you don't want to. But to answer your question, if they're okay, like I 100% believe that they are. Because when they're showing me where they are, it's kind of like this enlightened, benevolent kind of pearly gates version of like, they're like the neighbor that's bragging about their house, like where they are and where they live. That's interesting. I just want to pull one more card. I'm so curious on like I get that that's what they want to share and it's all about them, but oh, okay. I was just asking like, why is this happening? And I think it's because I don't know if like maybe people in your family like are like poo-pooing still to this day, like how religious they were or something. But I pulled the Justice card, and they're kind of like trying to say like, no, we want to justify our actions. Because I do think that they still hear those things about themselves. And I think that they were kind of like this in the time that they were living. And because of that, you know, some of that personality like leaks over. Like I feel like one of them, if not both of them, are pretty narcissistic. I mean, I could be totally connecting wrong, but that's what I'm feeling. Honestly, Larry, I feel like they are very caught up in still like what people think of them, which I know at the beginning I said they're far away and they're like not involved. in the day-to-day life, but I actually think that's interesting. I actually think that was like a front. I think they were trying to be like, oh, we don't pay attention. We're not here, you know? But then when I dug a little deeper and stopped talking to them and started talking to my guides, then it was like, oh, I'm kind of getting a whole new picture to this of like, they still have this attitude of kind of like, I know more than you. That doesn't mean they don't love you or any of that, but I would just say to know that if you ever do communicate with them, they might just still have those biases and those personal opinions, and you can decide whether or not you want to listen to them. I hope that makes sense. That was an interesting reading. Interesting people to still be so concerned about it after this long. I feel like usually that gets healed, you know, over time, but sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes time is very different from them and they're still caught up in that stuff and they haven't healed those wounds that they needed to heal. And I think that's sometimes why we decide to come back and live in a different way again. Alrighty. Thank you, Larry. I hope that resonated. Take what resonated. Leave what didn't. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything else. And I think we're caught up and we can do speed readings now. Sun card. Everything is looking brighter. What I love about the sun card is when it pops up in readings, it's like no matter what other cards are there, it's basically saying success, celebration is coming, like you can handle it and it's going to be happy, amazing, fantastic. That's why I love that card. It's basically like the optimism in the storm. Alrighty. Carolyn says, you feel the same way about your grandmother. She's been gone for a while and I don't feel her as much as I used to. Yeah, and I will say, I don't mention this at the top of every reading, but sometimes spirit is trying to talk to more than one person at a time. So if you feel like something resonated with you, like take it. It's very possible that you have something similar going on as somebody else. That's why I think certain people come to certain nights and other people don't, if that makes sense. I thought spirit guide energy stay for a long time. I would say sometimes some guides I feel like come in for a short amount of time to help you with something specific, and then others will be with you your whole life. It really depends. You were the only boy and you have 5 sisters. I think I speak my truth. She's going to make sure that we never get to speed readings. No, just teasing. Let me know what your question is. Yes, and I also would not lump, like, for example, Larry's parents into the category of ancestors or spirit guides yet. I really feel like they have to completely let go of all of that ego and be 100% there and ready to serve you. And when they're so caught up in their own stuff, I don't feel like they're necessarily a spirit guide or an ancestor. They can guide you, but that's where I kind of always preface it with, like, if they've passed recently and they haven't worked through their own stuff, they might not have the best advice for you, and that's okay. You don't have to listen to them. All right, Phoenix Rising. Thank you, guys. I feel like I recognized your handle. Phoenix Rising and Speak My Truth. I'm going to catch up on these, and hopefully we will get 2 speed readings tonight. No worries. Don't apologize. Thank you, guys. I would like a message from my Aunt Lourdes if she has any for me. And I will ask her to kind of communicate to me through these cards. Wow, okay. Ooh, I got action and adventure. It's interesting that action and adventure come up because, like, when I think of that, I think of, like, movies. I think of, and I don't think that's coincidental. Interesting. Okay. And when I was shuffling, I felt like the message that was going to come through, she wanted to just kind of hop on this additional, like, manifesting the things that we've been talking about before. adventure, dare to do things differently, action, take inspired action towards your dreams, move forward with confidence, and especially with like how we left your reading of like focus on the positive, like really try to find the success. I actually feel like this is getting in touch with your inner child, especially because you wanted to talk with her. Like you probably have these fond memories of her, and it reminds you a lot of like who you were with her when you were a child, or maybe, you know, just a younger version of you. And I feel like at that point in your life, you would definitely go after your goals and you'd take action, and life was more adventurous and fun, kind of that sun energy that we were talking about. And I think that, I think she's trying to tell you to nurture that part of your inner child. So maybe it is literally like watching action adventure movies, or maybe just making bold decisions, like walking out of the house and wearing something different. Or maybe if there was something that you two did together that was really like silly, like she's showing me the equivalent of like splashing in mud puddles. Like, I don't know if that is symbolic or literal, but she's kind of wanting you to get into that energy, that pure childlike energy again. And I think that's going to help you with like manifesting and kind of getting into this more positive, optimistic zone of your life. And that was my timer that just went off. Yep, you've replied to my comments before. I'm looking for a member. I don't think we've had any members post. All right. Lord Des. Oh, my bad. Hey, Kathy, welcome everyone. We don't have a list tonight. We're doing speed readings, but well, we do technically have a list because if someone donates, I get to them first. So I am on Phoenix Rising right now, and then we will get back to doing our speed readings. Thank you. I speak my truth. Okay, Lori got it. Lori's like, me. Okay, so Lori got the free member reading for tonight. So Lori, let me know what your question is, and I'll get to you after Phoenix Rising. We are talking to lots of deceased people tonight. I'd like to hear from any of my deceased grandparents, but especially my maternal grandmother, and how she communicates with me. Ooh, that's a good question. Let's use this. And just to kind of keep it quick tonight, since we're doing just short, brief readings, I will pull a card. And I'll just go ahead and connect with your maternal grandmother. The immediate, like, first message that I got was, like, she was giving so much love to your mother, because I think she's still around. And she wanted to say, like, how proud she is of your mom. I think she's with your mom a lot, because your mom needs her. Let's see. Interesting. Okay. And so I kind of am asking, just to kind of keep these quicker, I ask for our loved ones to kind of communicate whatever it is they might want to talk about, whatever's most important through these cards. And I got freedom, and immediately kind of the vision that she's giving me is like, when I look at Phoenix Rising's life right now, I just feel like you're very much like you do what everyone else tells you, not to like a bad extent. Like, I don't feel like you're just mindlessly living, but I feel like right now you just kind of, you go through the motions of like, well, I'm supposed to do this, and I'm supposed to get this job, and I'm supposed to do that. And I don't feel like you do a whole lot that lights you up, that gets you excited. Because this freedom card says, live wild and free, choose your freedom, claim your independence. I really feel like she's encouraging you to like, that independence is like really sticking out to me. I don't know, like she's kind of giving me this vision of like, gosh, like wearing what you want to wear, like dating who you want to date, having the job that you want to have. Like, I feel like you very much live your life according to like the family structures that are put in place. And I think she feels bad, and she sees that it doesn't quite make you happy all the time. And she feels like if you kind of got this like independent streak a little bit, like dyed your hair a little bit, like it would just give you this like boost of energy of like, oh, I could do anything that I wanted with my life. And it's not to say that she's like, oh, just go be rebellious and screw everyone and move across the world. But I feel like you're keeping yourself small is what she's trying to say, because you're not even aware of all the other cool things that you could be doing because you're just not used to like doing it. You haven't really sat in that energy. Let's see, anything else from her grandmother? Because I think what she's showing, she's trying to give me like a snapshot of like what your family looks like. And it's all very like clean and organized. Like the energy is like, oh, we do this, we show up for that, we all dress like this. You know, I don't feel like it's like militaristic in any sense, but it just feels like you copy each other because it's comfortable, but you guys never really ask, is this what I want? And I feel like because no one else is modeling to you, you know, what you should be doing, you're just not sure where you could expand, where you could find more freedom and just do things that are more fun. It's like really just honestly getting out of your comfort zone is what she's definitely encouraging you to do. Live more wild and free, because your family is very much like play it safe, if that makes sense. All right. Thank you, Phoenix Rising. Thank you guys for the donations. Your grandmother's name is Josephine, but all grandparents are passed. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't think you are, Carolyn, because if you're a member, you'll have like a little emoji next to your name. So like Lori right above your comment, she's got that little eyeball emoji, and that's how you can tell. But you can always click that join button, because if you are a member on these live nights, I set a timer and somebody gets picked to basically get a free reading. So that is Lori next. Hang on really quick though. I am like freezing cold. I need to turn up my heater. Ugh. I did not expect it to be this cold in here. Oh, we have a snowstorm coming again though. I don't think it's going to be as bad as it was like 2 weeks ago. The three of us spent a lot of time together. Oh, that makes sense. Hey everyone, sorry. I know it says speed readings, but whenever somebody donates, I pause to kind of give them a longer reading. I'm going to give Lori a reading, and then we're going to jump back into the speed readings. Lori wants a general reading. Any messages that she needs to know? I have just been pulling this card nonstop. The World Rebirth. This is actually a fantastic sign, Lori, I would say, because like I've been pulling the World card a lot, and it's almost like this, oh my gosh, finally the end of this journey, the end of a chapter. Like I can really put a period on the end of that. Like I'm done with that. And it's so perfect because the Rebirth card I also pulled. So what I love about the World card is this is really saying like, hey, you've wrapped it up. Like you've tied those loose ends. You're not going to keep going backwards on this. Like it's done, which is, I feel like the energy that I'm getting from it is like relief. Like this is saying we're not going to go back. You've learned your lessons. It's not going to affect you anymore. And then the Rebirth card is like the next step. And that's what happens after the World. This is the last card in the major arcana. And so you start back at like square one. And this is basically saying that throughout life, you learn all these lessons and you're not just done. You keep learning something new, or you keep having a new adventure. And so now the energy that's going to be coming in for you, Lori, is all about rebirth. It's about change. It's about a new chapter. And kind of what the energy is from this card is like, take this as an opportunity to lay a new foundation. Like if there's anything that you want to change about your routine, about how you do the things that you do, about the people that you spend time with, like this is a perfect opportunity to kind of clean that slate, because you're starting from new. It's a lot easier to do that at the beginning than it is in the middle or kind of in the end. So create, and I'm hearing envision this new reality. I feel like you could just kind of need a little bit of confirmation that this chapter of craziness is over with. And if you kind of feel like, oh, all right, that's done, then what's kind of next? Like what's the next thing that Lori wants? What's the next big goal or non-goal? It doesn't have to be like this big, work thing. It could just be, I want more peace. I want to take more time for myself. But really taking that time to envision what that next step is going to be good for you, because you're just in the perfect energy to do that. Alrighty. Thank you, Lori. All right. That makes sense, because I'm really hesitant to step in my path. Oh, I know how that is, Phoenix Rising. It's hard to get out of that energy. Your life path 5 freedom is your battle call. That's so perfect. I wish I had like a good book on that. Actually, Phoenix Rising, if you haven't read it, it tends to like go more on the side of like career stuff, but I think it's got some good information on there about kind of saying like, screw it to everybody else. I'm going to do what I want to do. And that's called, I think it's Big Magic. I've got it on my bookshelf back here. Big Magic. It's by the same lady that wrote Eat, Pray, Love. And I love the energy of that book. It's so motivational. All right, guys. Hey, everyone. Of course, Lori. Hey, guys. Okay. Now I'm doing speed reading. So thank you guys for joining us. If somebody donates, I kind of pause and get them first. So now you can ask the questions. I will start. Just saw your note on stories. Karen, it's so funny because when I was making that story, I was thinking of you. I was like, you know what? I should put something up so people know I'm live tonight. And I was like, oh, Karen might see it. I don't know why you popped in my head, but maybe you needed to see it or else you wouldn't have known. All right. And you guys, just ask a question. It's a lot easier for me to rapid fire speed readings with questions. And I will say too, I know I said I'm ready to start, but with speed readings, it's basically a claircognizance exercise, which I'm going to have a claircognizance video up soon. That's like the very last one I'm redoing of all my clairs videos. But this is a fantastic way to practice that. And you're basically just trusting the universe to give you downloads, and they're fast. And you're just going. But just do know that sometimes they're not as accurate. And that's because I've got several people in here and I don't actually see your faces. I just see your little blurbs. So I couldn't be connecting to the person above you. I could be connecting to the person below you. I could just not be connecting right. So if it doesn't resonate, throw it out. And I also titled this video, I think I said speed-ish readings, because I'm never fast enough. All right, let's get in the zone. Yes, I used to make a bunch of review videos. In that book I did one on, but I stopped doing them because they performed so badly. People don't like watching them. Should I choose a second career in holistic medicine? Yes, but do it like on the side. Do it on the side and like take your time with it, because it's going to take a little bit of time and money. So if you just like give up what you're currently doing and dive into it, you're going to get really burnt out. And I will say I kind of skip around, so feel free to throw out another question. You're at perfect timing, Jana. 444 everywhere. What is the symbolism? I will say that it's about like structure, stability, like having your, like I think of 4 posts to like hold up a roof. It's very much about finding that stability, finding the structure, finding the foundation. So maybe you're lacking that a little bit. again, ask in the moment. Will I find your inner peace? Will I find my inner peace? Dimpy, that's like, your guides are like saying it's such a loaded question because you and your energy have so much to do with it. It's not just going to happen to you. You have to put in the steps to do it. Person A or person B? I'm leaning towards A. Where should I sell my bracelets? I immediately got Etsy. There's another like website or platform that I haven't heard of that I feel like is also a possibility. Facebook Marketplace, maybe? That doesn't feel right. Thank you, Mickey. Sorry, guys, putting it on pause again for the donation. Thank you, Mickey. Can you / Spirit provide any information on what my current job, please? Like what it is, on what it should be? Can you just clarify that so I'm not asking the wrong questions? Stay or leave? Lisa, it feels like I'm leaning more towards leaving, but there's like things you can still do to fix it before you have to do. How much longer will you be on? I don't know. Speed readings, I never know if I go longer than I usually do or shorter than I usually do. My guides are telling me at least 30 minutes. 444, that's interesting. Yeah, just know with the numbers too, like, it means different things to different people. Like, it's been interesting to me because 1111 used to mean one thing that was very clear to me. And every time I saw it, I was like, oh, my guides are saying that. I got to pay attention. And then a couple months went by, didn't see it like at all. And then I started seeing it again and again and again and again. And I was like, I thought it meant this. And they're like, it has a new meaning. We're trying to get you to pay attention. It's not going to mean one thing for like the rest of forever. I was like, oh, okay, what's the new meaning? And they gave me the new meaning. I was like, oh, okay, cool. That makes more sense. How long I'll be there? Anything I should do? Okay. So you just want to know about your current job. Okay. Yes. All right. So you did $10 for Mickey. We'll get back to speed readings after I do Mickey. Hey, Mickey, I'm wearing a Mickey shirt today. Any information about your current job? Yeah, let's ask. That one fell out. What do we need to know? What do we need to do differently? And then I shall pull one of these cards. Promotion. You know, I pulled the swords card, so like I pulled 2 swords card. I'm more inclined to say that it's going to be a quicker thing because swords are just a lot faster. All right, this makes sense. So you got lots of swords energy. You got Virgo energy. It's very mental. It's very analytical, that this job that you're at. And I actually feel like maybe that's not 100% the place you should be. I feel like maybe you're a little bit more like abstract, more intuitive. Let's see how long you'll be there. Yeah, maybe shorter amount of time. Like when I feel that I still feel like you'll be there for like several months, but I just feel like it might get a little bit mentally draining because right now I feel like it's very fast paced. The Knight of Swords is like movement. Like, look at this guy. He's like running on this horse. And I feel like that's kind of how you approach it. Or this job is just mentally demanding. Or you're just kind of having to go through this, that. And it feels very stressful at times. But I also think it's pretty rewarding for you because I feel like you're qualified. Like, you're doing a good job of like what you're doing. The real key for you is to get into this Knight of Swords energy, which, so so your guys are saying to kind of move from this into this and see how this, he's the king. He's kind of sitting back. He's not like going crazy. He's not mentally stressing himself out to kind of show up for this job. He's like, no, I'm okay. I'm going to roll with the punches. Like, yes, there's stressful things. There's a lot of things on my plate, but I'm going to delegate. I'm going to, take my time. I'm going to be realistic because I also got Virgo, last quarter moon in Virgo, attend to the details. This energy is very much saying, like, if you want to stay here and if you want to thrive, you really have to get out of the energy of like crazy being concerned about it 24/7. And really, like, when I see this card, I think of boundaries, like setting up the boundaries with your boss, with your coworkers of like, no, I'm off work. I'm not going to help with this. Like, or even at work, like, you don't have to rush me. I will get it done as quickly as I can, but it's not going to be at the point to where I'm just exhausted by the end of the day, if that makes sense. And let me just make sure. So yeah, anything you should do differently, I would just say setting up more boundaries mentally, or else you're just going to like have total overwhelm and like, I feel like you're going to crash. As far as promotion, because I pulled this card for promotion, attending to the details, I don't know what kind of details there are, but it's almost like there's multiple things that need to happen first before you can get there. And then you can ask for something like that. And so this, I mean, honestly, if you feel like you're already there, sorting through those details and being like, all right, what do I need to do? I need to show up to my boss's door. I need to knock on the door. I need to present him with this argument or something and ask for this raise. But I think if you come at it from a very analytical approach, this job is very like mental analytical. I think you're going to be fine. Honestly, though, promotion, I feel like won't maybe happen until like the very end, when you're like almost on your way out and you're like, seriously, now you do it. You know what I mean? All right. Chinchilla. Why am I scrolling up through these? Okay. Thank you, Margaret. Sorry, guys. All right. We have another donation, and then we'll get back to speed readings. I would love to hear from my grandma, Margaret. Does she have anything I should know? And again, I'm just going to ask, for the sake of time, just to have that person communicate through these cards. Ooh, last quarter moon in Pisces. Talk less, feel more. Oh no, I'm sorry, Laura, because you're in the UK, aren't you? I don't know why I remember that. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's see. Talk less, feel more. So, Margaret, I assume that's your name as well, which is cool. Maybe you're named after her. I feel like the messages she's coming through with is just like, I feel like you're just overwhelmed. Like, I feel like you're overstimulated is the better word. Like, I just feel like you have a lot going on. Like, it feels like school. It feels like work. It feels like lots of responsibilities. I feel like you do not get enough sleep. And she's like, get more sleep. And I feel like it's one of those things that you probably wouldn't realize you're going like 200 miles an hour until you stopped and slowed down. And so this talk less, feel more, I feel like is kind of her saying like, unstimulate yourself more. Like, she's even giving me this visual of like, set aside your phone for like an hour at the end of the night to address how you feel and to take care of yourself. I feel like you're so concerned about everyone and everything else that you never take the time for you. And I feel like you avoid that space because you realize how much you're overburdening yourself and overworking yourself. And it's like, in those moments, it all feels like it's crashing down and it feels overwhelming because you're like, I just don't know how to fix this. But sitting in that space, And Pisces is really about being intuitive, getting those intuitive hits about how can I slow down? How can I take care of myself more? And just feeling through those feelings, I think will help you figure out a way to kind of slow down in the day-to-day life. So don't avoid this kind of like zone of like getting rid of everything else and just being with yourself, because I feel like those emotions are coming up because they need to be dealt with. Gosh, I don't think I've ever pulled this card. It's so pretty. I'm not like a huge crystal person myself, but if you feel like crystals are super powerful for you, amethyst, 100% for you. It might help you calm down a lot more. That's the same. I just noticed the same Photoshop on this card. Okay. All right. Thank you, Margaret. Australia. My bad. Yeah, because you would be, yeah, it's like midnight for you. I'm sorry, Laura. Maybe like, I don't know how to fix that. I worry that if I switch to a completely new time, then everyone else wouldn't be able to make it. And it makes me wonder if those subscriptions, if that would help. So, quick question for you all right before I get back into these speed readings. So, my question for you all tonight was, what would you want to see out of my membership? So, I used to have memberships. They kind of were overworking me. I want to reintroduce them, but I also want to know, like, what is it that you love so much on my channel that you would pay to see more of? Is it more videos? Is it podcasts? Is it coaching? Is it like live nights? Do you guys, I mean, you guys probably specifically obviously like live nights, because the people that don't like them probably aren't going to be here. But what is it that you guys enjoy most that you would definitely like pay for a subscription for? Just want to cater those a little bit more towards you guys. And I wanted to ask before I just jump back into it again, because that's what I did the first time. Awesome. Welcome from New York. Okay, yes, I'm named after her. Awesome. Live nights. Allison likes live nights. All right, and you guys can go back to questions as well. And we did have a member-only live night. I think I just got in my head too much about it because there was only so many people in there at night, and it just felt like, oh, why would I be in here with like 3 people when I can open it up to way more? But I think I need to really change how I'm looking at that, if that makes sense. Here, I'll just jump back up. I have one question. Who was it that was standing outside the bedroom door? My husband could not go back to sleep. I don't feel like it's anybody that you knew, Laura. I feel like it's kind of like a spirit that just popped in, was passing through. Like, and I don't necessarily feel like they were super negative, but they weren't super positive. They're just like, oh, hi. Oh, you see me? What's up? It like left. Time zones stink. They do. I wish I could just be live at this like perfect time for everybody. I wonder if there is a good time. Which second career in holistic medicine? Ooh, I wouldn't have the context to know. Maybe throw up like options just for the sake of brevity and like going quick. Being live and able to participate. Okay. Maybe, oh, also, it could be a Zoom night thing as well. Would you guys like, would you be more likely to show up for like a Zoom night? Maybe some of them are Zoom nights. Maybe some of them are not. That makes sense. Okay. Well, why am I shuffling the cards? What will my next job be when I start job searching again? It feels very like menial. Like it feels like a job just to pay the bills, but it feels like you won't be there for very long. You know, all this trying to figure out your gifts and how to use them. And thank you so much. Thank you, Margaret. How can I better manifest a relationship? Cheyenne, this is silly, but I just saw Cheetos. What does that even mean? What does Cheetos mean? Eat more Cheetos. That's how you can do it. Okay. That's such a weird image to give me, but like the image that I immediately got, because I went back to the source and I asked, what does that mean? And I kind of got this image of like eating Cheetos, stuffing your face, like you got Cheeto dust on your hands, it's gross, and you're kind of like maybe not taking the best care of yourself. And I think the message there, Cheyenne, is like, don't worry about being perfect. Like, show the true version of you that eats Cheetos late at night. Like, I feel like someone is going to be more attracted to that than like specifically, like I'm seeing like a fancy profile picture of like every other single girl on the planet. Does that make sense? Oh, hell no. I always tell my guys, please don't show me anything. And I do think they, for the most part, respect that. But I think nighttime specifically, you are so intuitive and so unaware of your boundaries sometimes that it's like the perfect time for things to pop up and bug you. You know what I mean? Am I able to trust my friend Raven? It's like a yes and a no. Like, she's not like evil, but she's not ever going to be like the best friend. Like, she's not thinking about you. Weekends are awesome. 9 or 9:30 p.m. Ugh. And see, I've got a toddler who goes to bed at 8:30, so my bedtime kind of has to be early. Maybe when he gets older, it won't be as big of a deal for me to stay up later. I don't know why I saw Cheetos, but I totally did. What's going to happen between KS and ZV? Kathy, like the first thing that I got is like, why does it matter? Like they're asking, that's not me like trying to be mean. They're coming back with a question of like, either way, what happens? Like, why are you asking? Because I feel like they're trying to shine a light on your intention behind that. And you guys can also like ask the same question again if I don't make sense. You can ask more than one. If F will contact me. And I will say too, if you guys can be more specific too, like F, it could be Fred or it could be Frank, and so I could screw that up. Hi, can I ask you? 7 to 10 days. Lily, I almost got the same energy of like, why so specific? Like, I feel like both Kathy and Lily, like your guys are like, just let it happen how it's supposed to happen. Like they're kind of frustrated with you. Will I find somewhere to live soon? Lisa, I feel like you actually need to physically go out and look at places, because I feel like if you're looking online, it's not, I feel like there's not as many results online as if you like drove around and found somebody who's like unaware of how to advertise online, and there might be more deals just by driving around. Acupuncturist, silly rabbit, I think. But go with your gut. Oh, yeah, and somebody asked me earlier if I taught classes. Yes, I have courses. You guys can go on my website and find those. They're through Udemy. Hello, Terralyn! Is it time? Why am I scrolling up? I have to be fast. You'll just have to ask them again. Lily, just know that's not me. That's like your guides coming through and giving that energy. You can always ask me again. Drake or Jack? I feel like neither, but leaning more towards Drake. All right, I'm going to pause really quick. Thank you, Terralyn. Any messages from Charlie? And I am going to pull some cards. I'm just very specifically getting, Terralyn, that maybe he had a really low voice. And with that, I'm getting that he felt like very much protector like to you. He's showing me himself as like a bear to you. I almost wonder if sometimes you see bears and it might actually be him. Like it could be bears in like your mind's eye, or it could be that you're like out and about and see like, I feel like you very rarely see bears, but you know, you might see something on a billboard. But he's like giving me this like protector energy of like, I protect Tara Lynn. Like that's, even if not so much now, like that's what he was to you in this life, which is funny because I pulled the support card. I feel like that's, this is like him and this is you, and I felt like you very much leaned on him for support. And I think he's saying that you can still do that now. Ask for help, nurture yourself. Oh, and then I pulled the partnership card. I think Tara Lynn, he's really just trying to come in and say like, hey, I'm here to help you in spirit, and we can work together. And I think he's actually giving you this image of a bear because I think you doubt some of the things that you get from him. And so maybe if you saw it coming from a bear, maybe you'd still like, I don't know, like trust it a little bit more. You like my haircut, by the way. I haven't gotten a cut, but thank you. It's gotten longer, if anything. I just pulled the Fool card, Tara Lynn. I just think he's the way he's kind of like saying your guys' relationship is like, he's almost like patting you on the head like you're this cute puppy that's just like will run into danger, and he's kind of like, I've got to pull Tara Lynn out of this again. And I think he's trying to say that he can do that. He can help you on this side of like, you know, not rein you back in, but if there's areas in life where you just feel like it's totally new territory, I don't know what I'm doing, he's kind of giving this energy of like, let me guide you, let me help you. Kind of different from like when we were talking about before, some people when they pass, they are definitely here to help you. But again, some people are not, and they're still caught up in their old ways and their old biases. He is not. And I think it's super cool that he's giving you this image of a bear to kind of help connect you with him. So I feel like if you see that now, pay attention and see if you feel like it's him. He was very protective. Oh, my heart. All right. Thank you for becoming a member, Shannon. I will say, you guys, we are back to speed reading. No, we're not. You guys, it's so funny because every time I'm like, oh, we're back, then somebody else donates, which thank you. Don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining, but all right, I'm just going to pull one card since you sent 4. You're welcome, Tara Lynn. Met Kyle. Don't say sorry. It's just funny that your guys' timing, because I'm always like, oh, we're finally got up. And then it's like, nope, no, we're not. You know, it's interesting because I feel like Kyle really has ignited, like, literally passion in you. But I almost wonder if it's a little bit misplaced. I mean, you've only met him since today. So give it some more, like, feel it out a little bit more. But, like, when I see this King of Wands, and I did pull it in reverse, which normally I don't read reversals, but I felt like that was important. And it was like you're seeing it as, like, ooh, the passion, maybe the sexy, like, lust side of it. But maybe it's because he's so in tune with, like, his personal drive, his power, that it's very attractive to you. And maybe that's just kind of like something that you admire and that you want within yourself. And so you're kind of maybe misplacing it as like attraction. Or it could be both. It could be that he really does exude that, and that's why you're attracted to him. As far as what he thinks of you, I don't honestly think he's thought of you more than just like, oh yeah, I met this new person today, because I feel like this guy's kind of turned and he's looked the other way, and he's got his own like things that he's worried about. don't let that like discourage you. It's only been like a day. Like I'm literally seeing like Anna vibes of like when Elsa's like, you can't marry somebody after you've met them for just a day or whatever she says. I don't feel like you're like that, but your guys are kind of like joking of like, just give it some time. Don't give up too early, but also don't get like head over heels too early at the same time. All right. Thank you, Aquarian Light. All right. Didn't know he was a CEO. Oh, no. Is it the right time to try to reconnect with Mom? I feel like you're in the right spot, Cheyenne. I don't know if she is. Let me just pull a card. Where's she at? I think she's a little too busy. I think life is a little too crazy. So I think she might actually like not... She might not give you the response that you're looking for because, you know, she's just got so much going on and like it might come across as like this half response and you're like, wow, okay. This was the first time I reached out after so long and she did that. Not cool. But I feel like it's more that like applause that you're in such a good spot to be able to do that, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's the best timing for her. But I would keep asking. Because I feel like you can't live your life according to like, oh, are they ready? Are they not? Because you just never know. So you just got to do it sometimes. All right. I've got so much going on. Any guidance and advice would be appreciated. I just heard breathe. I feel like I'm like a broken record lately, but I feel like I want to say like give an hour to yourself at the end of the night if you need it. He's following you around like a puppy. Interesting. How can I improve my relationship with my father? Definitely giving him space at the current moment. He's just like, he's stubborn. In life right now, he's finding a way to be mad at everybody. So anything that you would do, it's almost similar to Cheyenne of like anything you would do right now would just not be received. It's just reflected because he's such in defense mode. Should I continue or stop trying to get in? I'm hearing stop, but it's in stopping the way that you're doing it because I feel like you're really passionate about it, Jeffrey. And that's more what you need to be leaning into it. But I feel like, you know, if you're trying to do it to like make money or something, like that's just not working for you at the moment. And it's ruining kind of like your excitement around it. Come back to the why you started it and come back to the passion. Do it for that reason. Silly Rabbit, I don't honestly feel like you're missing anything. I am hearing Louise Hay. She has a book called something Heal Your Life. And it's cool because it's like a glossary and you can look up, oh, I have feet problems. And then like what it's most associated with. Like I feel like they're saying you can check that to kind of get one last piece of mind, like look up hair loss or just hair stuff and see what it basically she correlates physical symptoms to emotional symptoms, if that makes sense. And so then if you're having these physical issues but you don't know why and you can't figure out why, you can kind of look it up. Now it's not 100% right. It's kind of like similar to like dream journals. Like it might not be exactly what you're going through, but I feel like the energy they're giving me is like just give her that so she can feel like, okay, I've tried everything. Like I've tried everything physical and I've tried everything spiritual. Honestly, Silly Rabbit, like I'm just hearing age, like that's what's happening in your specific body. That's what it's doing. I will say though, that there are some really cool procedures out there that you can do. I don't know what they're called. I just know that I watched an episode of Try Guys and they went to this hair loss place and I've seen it done and it's amazing. They do a combination of like tattooing your hair, but then also like replacing hair follicles. And it looks amazing. It lasts for a really long time. So like they're saying like throwing that out there, like accepting that it's age and it's just what's happening to your specific body. Something different might be happening to somebody else's body. But if it's really bothering you, there's advancing technologies. I don't know why that's specifically coming through. That might actually be able to help if it's really like hurting your confidence enough. Kelly, what do Katie's spirit guides want her to know? I feel like this is your daughter. I could be wrong, but I feel like the message coming through is like don't be so hung up on that one person. She's putting all of her time and energy and thoughts and everything on this one. Like, I feel like it's a boy at school or something. Maybe it's like somebody at work. I'd be interested if that resonates. That makes sense, Jeffrey. I still feel like it's something that you should do like for fun on the side. I think sometimes we kind of get into such a mode of like, oh, I love doing this. I have to monetize it. Oh, I have to capitalize on this. I've got to make this into a business. But we don't often keep hobbies just because it's something we love to do. Is Michael still around us, or our daughter? I feel like Michael more so than your daughter. Yes. Still trying to improve my clairs and would like more exercises from you and manage my psychic blocks. I will say that is a common thing that I get asked, and I am currently making a masterclass course. Because my basic psychic skills course is very basic and very quick, and I made it many years ago. And although there is good information in it, I've just had so much one-on-one time with you guys, so many things that I realized I didn't explain very well or I didn't go into detail. So I'm making a much beefed up, much more beefy version of the basic psychic skills, and it's going to be like my psychic development masterclass is probably what I'm going to call it. And I will say that if you have already purchased my course, you are probably going to get my new course discounted heavily. And what I'm basically like, what I want to do is give it to everyone that already has purchased my course for like $5. So keep an eye out for it. You will get a message for that through Udemy. This probably will not happen until like fall or winter. I am writing all of the stuff for it, and then I'm going to need to film it, and then I'm going to need to edit it, and it's going to be a lot of videos because I do want to have actual like more exercises in it, because I know that's like a big ask that you guys have. Yay, you signed up for my class. Woohoo. Let's see. She's a cousin. Gotcha. I feel like she's just very like hung up on somebody specific who's maybe not thinking about her, and she's just wasting her time is kind of like the message that's coming through. I feel like I'm listening too much and missing things. What is M missing? I'm getting like radio silence for you, M. Which I feel like is what's happening with you. You're just like, hello, and you're not getting anything. Honestly, I feel like you're overanalyzing, and they're trying not to give you so much information because they want you to do some of your own intuitive work. They want you to make decisions and kind of trust your own intuition before like consulting with them on everything, if that makes sense. I feel like sometimes our guides purposely like withhold information from us. I kind of feel like that's what's happening there. Let's see. Will I have my baby on his due date or after? Ooh, Kim. Is that me? I'm making sure this isn't my energy. I feel like it's going to be like really close to your due date, maybe a teensy bit before or a teensy bit after. And when I say teensy bit, it feels like a day or two. You have to tell me if that's right. I'm curious. I get radio silence too. Exactly. Yeah, I had a coaching session about that yesterday. And I think sometimes we think, oh, well, it's my psychic ability, I'm not doing it right. But sometimes I do think your guides purposely are like tight-lipped for reasons. Is he still watching over our daughter? No worries. You guys can always keep asking questions on speed reading nights because I know I skip a lot. Yes. And I think that's because he knows that it will give you peace of mind if they are together. But he's also kind of like telling me, Lauren, on the side, like, you know, we're in a place where there like protection is not needed. We are our own individual souls. We don't need, like, there's nothing to be protected from. We're not lonely. You know, being lonely is a very like human thing. But he's like also recognizing that worries you. So he says, yes, like I'm absolutely with her. She's totally fine. What is coming towards me in finances? Yogi, I feel like it's going to still be a little bit of a dry spell for a bit, but I'm specifically seeing like either 3 weeks or 3 months. I'm leaning more towards months where things start to pick back up. Solani, I feel like your ex has like, asking if I should say this, but like I'm getting like feelings towards you that are purely kind of like sexual. Like he thinks about you in like, oh yeah, dang, I missed that kind of way. But like as far as like love, friendship, romance, I feel like he doesn't want to go there. It's purely like sexy time. Which is probably not a good reason to get back with him. Yes, Lisa, that definitely happens, which is annoying because some people are like, I didn't want to talk to that person. I wanted to talk to this person. It's like, well, some spirits are louder than other spirits. Sorry. I'm always way overdue. Oh, I hope it goes so well, Kim. Why is Jay the Sag reading out after no contact for a month? I feel like he's just in a better mood. And he's feeling more optimistic, and maybe he's a little bit hopeful that he can like get you to respond back. He's just in a better mood. Does your nan or your dad got a message for me? I don't know what the energy is tonight. They're being so silly, but I got like eat your broccoli from your nan. I think she's kind of giving you that message, Lisa, because one, she knows you're not doing it and you're not eating healthy all the time, but also two, because she also used to get after you so much as a kid and you were like, grandma, you know what I mean? My older sister's vibe towards me is weird. Is she upset at me? I think so, Michael. Like, half yes, but I feel like that's everyone. Like I feel like she's just kind of in a bad mood and she's like taking it out on everyone. Does that make sense? Like really what she wants is someone to be like, how are you doing? Like, and then I feel like she would let it all out and then she'd start being nice again. Like I just feel like she's expecting somebody to come up and ask her about her, and she's not putting anyone else above her. She's waiting for people to talk to her first. Should I move on? I don't know why, Karen, but like I feel like if you're talking about home stuff, I'm getting like a no, like stay where you're at. I don't know if that is like what you're even asking for. Maybe ask again if that's not what you're looking for. Is he actually interested, or am I wasting my time? They're telling me to pick a card really quick. Okay, for Allison. That's confusing. Polarity. Is he actually interested? I'm getting like, this is like a bigger reading than it needs to be, but it feels like there's stuff that you're doing that's kind of like you're getting into your head too much. There's stuff that he's doing that he's getting into his head too much. Like, you guys need more clarity within yourselves, and then you guys need to come to each other with more clarity, and then you'll understand more of what you guys want. But because you guys are both so like unclear, it's just like super confusing, the signals that are going out. She likes to ask others why she's upset. Yeah, totally getting that vibe from her. Oh, it was relationship I was referring to. Okay. And you're asking if you should move on. Honestly, Karen, I'm getting like to do something brave and bold, like really go out of your way to be like, hi, I'm here. Like, are you interested? And then you can feel like, oh, I wrapped that up. And maybe you don't actually do that, but like doing something that you feel like to yourself is like giving you some finality to where you know, and you're not going to go back and question, did I do enough? Then I think you're going to feel a lot better moving on. Like, I just don't feel like you can move on now because you don't have that like finality. Aunt Pina, she says she's so sorry for putting so much expectations on not really you, but a lot of the people on the family. Oh yeah, I'm back. Hey, Jenna. Any guidance? Ooh, Jacqueline, I just saw you like bathing in like a waterfall, just like vacation vibes. Like, I don't know if you've had a vacation recently or if you need to go on one. Like, your guides are definitely coming in and saying like, you are well provided for. It is okay to take care of yourself. And maybe it's a little bit more symbolic of like, you're really like legitimately in the flow of life, of manifesting. And you know, if you're feeling like, I don't know if I feel that way, like they're trying to tell you like you're there, and maybe you're just not recognizing it or being thankful for it. But like huge confirmation, like life is good right now. So take it in. And if there's something that you've been wanting to do, like take that step and go for it. You are safe and protected. These people are talking to each other. Okay. Should I stay in my job or go for a different one? I'm feeling like staying feels a little bit better. Yes, you can ask questions. We're doing speed readings. And again, if somebody wants a longer reading, you can always donate. I find it frustrating not able to hear my own guides. Ugh. I know how it is. I feel like I almost need to like make a whole video around that. It seems to be coming up a lot lately. Everybody's just talking to each other. Okay, I'll take a quick water break. This is a different person. If I've got his energy right, if he's kind of like whoever is the more reserved, quieter guy, I feel like that's kind of the one you should be giving a little bit more time to. I got you on in my living room, larger than life. Woohoo! Sometimes my husband will watch me in our living room, and I'm like, turn that off. I don't want to see myself. Like, put me on your phone and turn off the audio. Relationship advice with my husband. Okay. Because I know some of that stuff. I'm going to pull a card just to make sure I'm not biased, Jana. Sorry, what are you saying? I don't know why you guys are saying sorry. Polarity. There can be no light without dark. Understand the law of polarity. Like what I feel like with this card, Jana, it's basically saying like, go to the dark places, go to the uncomfortable areas, like talk about it, be vulnerable, like bring up the stuff, because it's not something that you can just ignore the bad. Like you can't just have the good only, especially with relationships. You really have to address everything. Like anything that's bad has to come out in the open. It can only be swept under the rug for so long. Not saying that that's what's happening to you, but a lot of times we think that relationships have to be perfect. And in your case specifically, it's saying go towards the dark, go towards the things that need to be fixed, have those uncomfortable conversations, and then you're going to know better, okay, yes, they're willing to fix this, or okay, I tried, what's the next step? What is with my guys tonight? They're being such jokesters. So Shakira said, who's coming towards me? And I immediately saw like Mariano from Encanto with his like little walk, you know, that he does. It's like so vampant on like TikTok right now. I think they're teasing you, Shakira, because I think that's what you want this new relationship to come towards you, but that's kind of the stuff that you're attracting, is like the ridiculous guy that's maybe not for you. And so I think the message there is to like examine your intention. Who do you want to attract? Because I feel like you're trying to attract this like perfect vision of somebody, and either one, they're not out there, or two, that's not actually the right person for you. Is anyone in my family pregnant? Haley, I don't feel like they are right now, but I feel like you got a good intuition on it. Like they might be trying or something. Oh, got you, Jeffrey. Yeah, normally I ask just not to do that, but I mean, you're being cognizant of it, so I appreciate that. More because it just like, it's not because it's all about me. It's more, how do I say this? And like, I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but it's more that people are coming to me for the reading and they didn't necessarily ask for somebody else. Like they didn't ask for somebody else to read them. And so it's kind of like jumping in when their energy is open without getting that permission. So actually, I think what I should say is it's totally fine. You just ask, hey, do you mind if I tell you what I'm picking up? And I think if you do that, totally fine. Lauren, am I psychic? Yes, you are. Karen, have you watched none of my videos? I always tell people that, and that they roll their eyes, but I'm getting messages like crazy from my spirit guides. Well, then yes. Yes, I want perfect for me. But that's like the whole thing with Mariano, right? Is he's like this goofball that's like just, he's not really right for Isabella, you know what I mean? I'm losing my train of thought, but I'm going to keep going. I'm sorry. I feel like I haven't even like finished my thoughts. Anyway, you're late, but we're doing speed readings. Can I really trust my sister? Allison, the first thing that I saw was just, there's a lot of hurt there. A lot of hurt maybe from you, but also just from like people in general. She's just a very closed off person, which makes you feel like you can't trust her. I would say if you want to trust her, you have to understand that those walls have to be broken down a little bit. I'm getting like major Scorpio vibes around her. I'm not sure if she has that in her chart, but like Scorpios are very like, they're tight, but as soon as you like knock on the door, they're just like, oh my God, you know what I mean? I feel like that's how she is. How does Taurus feel about you? It just sort of feels like you'll get to be, it feels like passing, like they think about you in passing, but it's nothing more than like an acquaintance or a friend. No, you're okay, Jeffrey. I should have rephrased that. I think it's okay if you ask, hey, do you like so-and-so, do you mind if I give you what I'm getting? And just get their permission first, because that's all that matters. Do I have gifts with animal communication? You know, Jana, I immediately got that you do with specific animals, which like goes against my personal like analytical beliefs, because I feel like all animals are the same. But I think they're more drawing attention to the fact that like you have certain animals that you've communicated with more, and you might just be better with some than others, and so they're saying like not to get discouraged for not being able to connect with certain types, if that makes sense. That horse video inspired you? Oh, did I share something? What was the horse video? I don't remember. You got the psychic cards because of you. You mean the 90-day cards? Because I also have like the psychic reading cards, and they're like a tarot card set, and they're not like my favorite. But if you're talking about the 90-day cards, I love those. Basically, my mentor, Karen Fox, made those. She's fantastic. I had to study using those cards, so I think they're amazing. Next year, or we will have to wait. I think so, Kim. I actually think that this year it feels like you're going to have to do all of the work to kind of get that house, whether it's like saving up or like improving your credit score. Like, as long as you're doing that this year, as long as you are like actively trying to manifest it this year, I think you will next year, like even beginning of spring next year. My dog was barking. Hang on. I need to text my husband. Get the dog. He's probably putting our son to bed right at this moment. Oh, I just heard him open the door. Now I have to say thank you so he doesn't think I'm being mean. Oh, you sent me a video. Oh, I'll have to check it. Okay. What can I expect for the rest of the week? Calmer energy, Shakira. I feel like this weekend would be perfect for just kind of like holding yourself up, like grabbing a book. Like, I feel like you might want to do the opposite of like going out and having fun, but I feel like it would be like a letdown. I feel like people's moods are just there, and it would like not be a fun time. So like, you know, getting some alone time, like taking a hot bath, getting a book, like really taking like a self-care day, like feels really good for me, for you. Keep seeing people face in all kinds of things, but don't know what that is supposed to mean. I know they're giving signs, but don't know what. If I'm reading that right, Margaret, and this is not intuitive but analytical, it's probably just that you're seeing psychic information and you're seeing it in the form of like visuals, and maybe it's about the person that needs to hear that message. Maybe it's a spirit. But that happened to me a lot when I started becoming intuitive. I would see faces all the time, very clear faces. And I still do to this day. Sometimes they will be so clear. And it bugs me because I'm like, if that person was in front of me, I would know who they were. But anyway, I just feel like it's a sign of your intuition growing. And so maybe in the moment, stop and ask, oh, is this a spirit? Is this like the person that needs to hear something? Like, what is that? Yes, I think those 90-day cards are just crazy. Like, I feel like you have to kind of push through the first like 2 weeks because it's very like basic stuff. You can even skip it if you want. But if you stick to it, you will see yourself become more psychic, 100%. Hey, Mimi Blue Music. I probably did not see it. Speed readings, I'm just kind of skip around. So feel free to ask the questions again. I'm not like scrolling up, or else I would not be fast. There's not a list. Just feel free to throw up your question. What is Justin's current thoughts and feelings toward? Mildly interested, but like not enough to make a move. What will the outcome? Julia, I'm at least seeing like a good friendship is if you pushed it, like if you initiated that to start, like in the immediate future. Should I continue searching for my lost cat key? Shannon, it's like a yes, but without attachment, without expectation of outcome. Like, feeling like you've done all the things that you need to do. Shannon, do you have a reading with me tomorrow? If not, I'm thinking of somebody else, but the information that's coming through is kind of like, do it to where you feel like you've exhausted all of your like avenues, but again, let go of the expectations, because that's what's giving you the intense anxiety and stress, and that's not helping. Obviously, easier said than done. Why do I always feel guilty or shameful? I'm gonna pull a quick card for you, Carrie. I'm actually feeling like trained, like your parents probably weren't the most patient people, and they were probably go, go, go. I feel like it was just, and also just a lot of like your current outcome of everything is just go, go, go. And I feel like the anxiety is kind of like pressuring you to feel like you have to do XYZ. And when you don't meet those expectations, you feel like you're letting somebody down. And I would ask who it is that you feel like you're letting down, or who would shame you for not being able to accomplish those things. Jeffrey, like the first thing that's coming through is like, do whatever is going to help you pay the bills first. But I am leaning more towards the martial arts stuff. The reading on the side kind of almost feels like the computer stuff of like, do it because you love it. But know that it would take a lot of time. Like, I feel like all the things you're proposing are just going to take a lot of time to like show a consistent income. And so if you're going in with the expectation that it's going to instantly make you money, I think you're going to be really disappointed. So it's kind of like grow it on the side and, you know, be able to eat at the same time. Is your mother-in-law still mad at you? Like, you might not believe me, Jana, but it never to me has felt like any difference of emotion. Like, the way she acted to you and then the way she like is now is like the same. Like, I feel like, and it makes sense, the culture over there is a lot more passive, and I'm doing this because I feel like almost they're very non-emotional. And even though it felt like she was probably mad, and maybe she was to an extent, I feel like she very much blocks out emotions. So I don't feel like she's still mad, but I feel like she still has the expectations that she wants you to fit into, if that makes sense. But I think she's a very emotionless person. It's very, very disattached. Mimi. I can pull cards if you donate, but tonight specifically is about speed reading, so I'm trying not to. I'm trying to go fast. How does your friend Chris feel about you? I feel like he's interested, but he's also kind of like taking your cues. And because you're on the fence, he's also kind of like on the fence. But I'm hearing though to trust your gut about it. Like, you want it, you want a relationship, and you kind of feel like, oh, well, this is it. I should take it. It's being like presented to me. But I also feel like he's not necessarily the right one. Like, you know, he's not like checking off all the right boxes. But I think you're lonely, which makes you want to take on something, if that makes sense. Oh, Margaret, am I with the right person, I assume? I immediately feel like just go see the anxious love coach. Like, I feel like she has, she's on Instagram and TikTok. She has a lot of good stuff that I feel like the problems that you're having with this person comes from anxiety and a lot of like societal stuff of like what that relationship should look like. And yes, I feel like you are with the right person, but the thing is if you're constantly questioning it, then no, you're not, if that makes sense. All right, I will say I'm probably going to do like 5 more minutes of this, and then we'll probably call it good. for the night. Hang on. I feel like there was non-question related. I need to work from home to provide for my family. Yeah, like messages, Jeffrey was like, do what you got to do to like pay the bills because the rest of that might take some time to build. Yeah, Carrie, like I would look into like anxiety if you feel like you have it. And I feel like there's another person on Instagram that's really good with anxiety stuff, but I can't remember her handle. Anyway, how's your brother Steve doing? I think he's doing good. I think he purposely is putting up kind of like a wall. He doesn't like to get involved in a lot of family stuff is kind of the impression that I get from him. He kind of likes to keep a distance from it because he doesn't know how to handle it when it gets intense. So it might come across as like he's not interested, but like it's more just like he doesn't know how to handle it. Ooh, when will my dream dragon show up in my dreams again? Ooh. Jack, I feel like the message that I'm kind of getting is like you might have to incubate that. You might have to ask for it. I mean, I feel like you have been asking for it, but you've almost been willing it too much. Honestly, Jack, I would try because I feel like you've almost beaten it into the ground too much that it's just almost not going to happen until you just like let go of it happening, if that makes sense. And then all of a sudden he's going to pop up. But I would try shamanic journeying because that's a way of control. I feel like shamanic journeying is dreaming while you are awake. And you can kind of control who you are talking to in that way. You can go in with the intention, I want to see this guide. I like how you put a laughing emoji with that. I feel like Kim, like you're like, I want to do it, but I haven't been taking any steps towards it. Honestly, Kim, I feel like the drive, like what I'm getting is like you have a lot of doubts around it because you're telling yourself like, oh, am I really going to use it? Is this ever going to be like a thing? And they're saying like it can be, and you don't have to go live in France to learn French. Like you don't have to do that. But they're saying like you specifically, you kind of need more discipline. So it might have to be something that you find a class and like really put aside the time and commit yourself, because I think you're going to learn a lot better in that setting. And sometimes you can look up like clubs or organizations in your area. And a lot of times there will be free language courses, or sometimes you have to pay a little bit for them. Oh, Allison, you asked the wrong person. My first career was in film. My current career is in film. I have a big bias around it. Allison, I'm just going to give you my analytical opinion because I feel like that's what they're telling me to do. Understand where you want to live first, because film is very dependent on location. So if you're willing to be in California and pay for California, awesome, go for it. If you're willing to move to Georgia, awesome. Go to the place, find where film is happening, or else you're not going to get any work. I went through film school. I love Colorado. I will not ever probably move out of Colorado. And there is no film in Colorado. We are like literally bottom 2 states for film. We are so bad. We have awful incentives. And so I basically had to just do commercial work. And I still do commercial work and I hate it. And that's why I'm here. So analytical advice for you, Allison. I feel like that degree was a waste for me, unfortunately. Obviously, we're like at the top of our game here in Colorado. My husband is like producing this massive YouTube show. I'm so proud of him. But I'm not making movies, and that's because of the location that I'm in. So understand where you want to be and what types of films you want to make, and if you're willing to move, because I was not willing to move. And I wish I would have known that before I went to school for it. But it all has purpose. I have a studio. I have film equipment. I have all of the things at my disposal, those skills now that I can use for my YouTube channel. So not a total waste for me. Glad to hear he is okay, though. Like, Jana, I feel like you could reach out to him, and it might be like pulling teeth, and he might give you like one-word answers, but it's not because he doesn't love you or he doesn't care. It's just because he doesn't know how, if that makes sense. Thanks, Carrie. Yeah, I do have on my Instagram highlights, I do have like a resources like bubble, and like usually in that bubble is like all my favorite people, accounts, stuff that I just love. There's, again, the Anxious Love Coach. I love her when it comes to relationships. There's somebody who's really good on anxiety that I've shared. Denise Duffield Thomas is like one of my favorite like money block people. So yes. When will Henry show up again? They're just being so silly with me. They're like, tomorrow. But they're like teasing, because they're like, we know we want these things, and we want it to be tomorrow, but it's just not going to happen that way. And so they're trying to make fun of us tonight for just being so like, why isn't it here? They're like calling us Veruca salts is what they're calling us. And they're just like, have fun with life. Stop worrying so much about what you don't have. But I do feel like if Henry's going to show up, it might be like 2 months. If. I don't feel like you're going to hear from him again, though. Yeah. Will I ever buy a horse? Like, I'm getting like total practical stuff. Like, you need the space and the place to have it. Honestly, Jenna, I feel like later in life you totally could. If you step into the power of like, I want to be in this place, I want to have this space, this is like my home, this is what I want to do with my money. And I feel like if the people around you are supportive of that, absolutely. What are my random weird dreams trying to tell you? Yellow, I feel like they're just trying to get your attention, because I feel like there's a lot of little messages here and there, some bigger ones, but they're just trying to get your attention so that you pay more attention and write them down. I don't know if you're new to my channel, Yellow, but I do have a video on how to remember your dreams. I have a series on it, but I would watch those, because like the information that I'm getting is like to write them down and start analyzing them, and they might not be as random or weird as you actually think they are. There might be little tidbits of information. You're welcome, Kim. I feel you in regards to careers. And I know, I hate that. I want to be like, oh yeah, go start this. Like, I'm definitely in that zone too. I've had to keep this film job until this psychic job can like fully pay me, and I've been doing it, for like 5 years now, and it still hasn't completely taken. Actually, no, that's not true. I'm finally in a place where this is making more than my film job. So it took about 5 years. So I think that's the thing about manifesting people don't like to talk about, is because sometimes it takes a really long time. You know what I mean? And people don't want to hear that. Ooh, that's a good question, Jana. Let's ask. Here, let's pull the unicorn. I should have thought to ask that like myself. Jana, we got to get on it. Jana and I have a secret project going on. You guys will hear about it eventually. But it looks good, Jana. And I know I've been MIA, and I need to reach out to you. Jana, I support your childhood dream. Yes, let's all help Jana get her horse. Oh no, I'm not writing them down. I actually stopped writing them down. That's okay. And the thing about dreams is, even if you write down a tiny little chunk of them, that's okay, you know? And I remember literally writing down a sentence from one of my dreams and getting so much information from that one sentence. Because I think truly the parts that you need to remember can contain a lot of information. All right, I'm going to do one more, and then we're going to wrap it up for tonight. Just a quick yeah or no. Yeah. That's the answer. Yeah. Ooh, how will my career be in 2022 through 2028? Tanya, I don't know if you're into astrology, but like I'm heavily, this is intuitive. It heavily feels like go look up your astrology, your birth chart, because I feel like that's actually going to be super accurate. Because I don't always feel like it's accurate for everyone, but for you, I feel like that question could be easily answered by looking at the astrology of like the years coming up. Love the meditation, the one you made from your granddad, I think. Oh, thank you, Awaken Within. Yes, so I made, and we're gonna wrap up readings now. So the rest of the night, I kind of just decompress, hang out with you guys, answer non-psychic related questions, get grounded again. Let's see, what was I gonna say? Yeah, my psychic, was it my psychic? No, it wasn't my psychic sanctuary one. So I have one. I don't know if anyone's really listened to it, but I made it because I wanted to make it, and it was basically a go through your childhood home meditation. And I got the idea from my husband's grandfather, who used to work pretty heavily in psychology, and he told me, we were just having a conversation one Christmas, and he was saying how he would lead people kind of through a guided exercise, and they would like be sitting and closing their eyes, so basically a meditation, and he would walk them through their childhood home. And the thing was is he couldn't remember anything about it, but I was so intrigued and I wanted to know so much. I was like, oh, well, what was the purpose? Like, what did you do? Where did you go? He spent the rest of that night in his office, like this cute little old guy, like trying to find the information, trying to go through all of his old notes, couldn't find anything. But I was like, oh, shoot, I'm just going to have to forget about it. And then I think I just couldn't stop thinking about it. And then my guides are like, you don't need to know the original. Like, just use your intuition. We will help you fill in the blanks. And, it might not be exactly what he's doing, but, we can make something together. And so I kind of made that meditation and just use my intuition with it. I don't feel like I'm the best at meditation videos. I need to just slow down and chill out, but I'm working on it. I will say, before some of you guys usually hop off, video for this week, we are talking about clairalience and clairgustance. I'm kind of combining them into one video. It's video 4 of 5 for our clairs, and then our claircognizance video will be last. So expect to see that this week. Next week is gonna be, I think it's gonna be how I make my videos. So that's going to be a little bit more vlog style, behind the scenes. And then the following week is going to be the types of psychics that are out there, especially for those of you who are learning, or maybe you want to be psychic, or maybe you just want to go see somebody and you want to know what types of like intuitive workers there are out there. I'm just kind of doing this like massive compilation list. And I think I even like wanted to know that when I was first studying. I was like, what are all the different types of psychics out there, and like what can they do and how do they do what they do? So that video will come out, and then it will be a pick a card reading, and that pick a card reading I am filming this week. I'm really excited about it because my guides kind of gave me this idea, and we're going to do like a clair's pick a card reading. So each pile is like a different clair, and you can either pick a pile without knowing which clair it's associated with. So I'll like put them all out, and you can pick whichever one you're being called to, of like, oh, which clair do I need to strengthen? And then if you're more like, no, I know I want to strengthen my clairaudience, then I'm going to put like little names on all the piles. And then you're like, oh, okay, pile X is clairaudience or something. So I'm really excited to make that. I'm going to film that this week, but probably won't come out for a couple weeks. Spirit guide meditation was super helpful too. I've used it a lot lately. Spirit guide, like the psychic sanctuary, I don't have very many. I think you talk to your guides in like all of them, so I'm curious which one. And I ask because I like knowing what you guys like, because it helps me make better content for you. Xavier, yes, your answer was yes. A new combo Claire. I love Claire. It's not really a combo. It's just like Claire Aliens and Claire Gustance, which is smelling and tasting. They're so short. Like the information that I have to give about them is so short. It doesn't make sense to make two different videos. I'm just going to kind of put them together. So that will be this week's video. Western New York. There's a lot of people from New York in here. Please include bloopers or just a blooper compilation video. In what? Unfortunately, the how I make my videos one is already like filmed and done because that used to be a member video. And usually when I have a really busy week, I throw up an old member video, and that's going to be next week for me. Because I will say, you guys, I am in the middle of potty training my 1.5, almost 2-year-old, and it has been real. I shouldn't say that. I'm not going to manifest any negativity around it, but he's been doing a really great job, but he's kind of on the younger side. I wanted to start early. So it's taken a bit. And this whole last weekend, I've basically had to be watching him like a hawk and basically catching him before he has to pee, training him to get to the toilet. It's been a lot of fun, but it's also been exhausting. Who would have known it takes so much to like just simply pay attention to your kid for so long. So that's, if you're wondering also like why I haven't been on social media much, it's because I'm just like, I wanted to kind of address the potty training stuff before we have like a ton of like events coming up this year. And February just felt good. It felt like the right timing. It sucks though, because my birthday is next week. My 30th birthday is supposed to be a big birthday. I wasn't really thinking about that when I started potty training him, so I don't think I'm going to be able to go out or really do anything for it. We'll see. I like your ideas. Thank you. I used to, when I think about it too, I used to include bloopers kind of at the end of my video with my like end screen cards. Like if you watch long enough, you'll see like cards at the very end of my videos. But no one ever commented like, oh, your bloopers are so funny. So I was like, oh, must take them off. You tried to do a family vlog channel before, and editing videos is no joke. Oh my gosh. It takes so much time. Thanks, Jana. I've had a lot of practice. The amount of videos I edited last week, because I'm also helping my husband out with his YouTube channel. And I'm trying to help them get going, so I'm making like shorts for them, and like I edited so many videos last week. It's crazy. I'm just like an editing machine. I'm really good at it, but I hate it. Yes, I do have a bunch of old Claire videos. So like if you really want to see some of those Claire videos before they come out, which I think is just the only ones that aren't new yet is the Claire Aliens, Claire Gustance, and Claire Cognizance. But that's why I wanted to redo them, is because they're literally some of my most popular videos. Like everyone that's new usually comes through my channel through those. And I feel like, one, I did not do a very good job of describing things back then. Two, there's way more that I could have put in those videos. So I really wanted to redo them, especially because I talk so much about the Claires and I'm always like, oh, go watch the Claire video. Go watch the Claire video. It was bugging me how old those were getting. Although I will say that the videos that I did, the exercises that I did with Rob, I think are super helpful. And I'd like to be able to do more of that for my masterclass. Like actually have somebody with me while I'm filming so you can kind of see like that back and forth interaction. That's one thing that I do love about those videos. Rob was so helpful because you're seeing me teach, you're seeing someone practice. And I think they were perfect examples that fit so well in those videos, like not staged at all. Like we just went for it, we rolled, and we just did it, and it turned out really great. If you want, I could add music meditation track if you just send the vocals to me without music. I don't know what you're talking about, Awaken Within. Are you wanting to send me meditation music? I'll take meditation music. I have to find my music off of the YouTube library, and the selection is very small. Potty training is funny and exciting. That it is. Hang in there with the potty training. Honestly, though, you guys, he's doing so good. I'm so proud of him. Like, there's definitely some backward movement, but he gets it, and there's progress like every single day. Hey everyone, if you're just joining, we're kind of done for the night. I'm kind of wrapping up, decompressing, chatting with all of you guys. So yeah, those are the videos that I've got coming up. Again, if you haven't already answered the question, I'd love to know what you guys would like to see out of my subscriptions, what it is that you would absolutely pay for. If you're like, oh my gosh, if Lauren had more of this, I would definitely pay for a subscription. More live nights, more personalized readings, more pick-a-cards, more like how-to coaching videos. Honestly, I'm kind of thinking about literally just going back to what I was doing, but adding some of the live nights being Zoom nights. And then I was thinking about the member-only video. I was thinking about it being, instead of doing a member video that week and a normal video for everyone else, I was kind of thinking about retracting the normal video for everyone else. So basically, if you're not a member, you're only getting 3 videos a month. But if you're a member, you're getting 4 videos a month. If that makes sense. And I'm wondering if it should be like an early access thing. Mama, I could squeeze you in if you do want to donate, but that's probably going to be the last one for tonight. Oh, I see. Awaken Within. Yeah, I think there's music in there. It must not be loud enough. You like the floaters video. When his poop flew out of the toilet when he got up to her. That's so funny. That's basically what happened the very first time too. We've had a lot of poops on the floor and it's been freaky, but he turns around because you're supposed to congratulate them, like, "Yeah, you pooped. See, that's the poop. That's the pee," so that they can put 2 and 2 together. And he's always like, "Poop." Oh, it cracks me up. And it set us back. Yeah, the issue that I'm having with him mostly is that he just won't sit long enough to go. He just wants to get up and move and do other things. Okay, so you love the live nights and the personal readings. Thank you, Karthik. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name right. I thought you were still doing Zoom video. Oh, gotcha. Ugh. Losing my voice. But yeah, I think I'm going to kind of do a hybrid, but also like step back, because basically I'm one of the patrons that I pay for. Her name is Chloe Taylor. She does pick-a-card readings. And I'm not like huge on pick-a-card readings. I really only watch her because I think she's so fantastically intuitive. I think she's really like connecting and channeling and not using her analytical mind. I think she's really like great at it. But I pay for her Patreon, and I noticed that what she's done kind of over the probably year that I've been a patron for her, she has basically kind of like pulled back doing her normal videos for everybody else and putting more into the Patreon. And so kind of thinking about doing that, but I'm not 100% sure. There's downsides of doing that. Less people find you. You guys know what I mean. Mama Muff, you did such a great job last time. Thank you. Do you know why this person is doing what they're doing to my hubby and I? Yeah, let's pull some cards. Ooh, if that ain't the perfect card. Okay, whatever, I don't know what they're doing, but I got the Moon and the 9 of Pentacles. And the Moon can be positive and negative, but the moon is about like what masks are you wearing? Like who are you trying, or like what are you trying to hide? And so like when we think about what this person is doing to you, it's like they're doing it with bad intentions. They're trying to do something not truthful, not honest. That's one way to interpret the moon card. Not everyone interprets it that way, but that's kind of like one of the meanings that has really stuck with me with this card. And usually it's about, hey, taking off that mask, doing things with a little bit more integrity. And so I would say, why are they doing it that way? Because they're not being honest and they're not being truthful. So like if you're wondering why they're doing what they're doing, that's probably why. And then again with the 9 of Pentacles, like really when I see the energy of this card is like, it's all about me and nobody else, and I don't care. I have 0 F's for anyone else in my life. You know what I mean? And so I feel like this person, and you know, the fact that Pentacles comes up, I almost wonder if it's like to gain, maybe not necessarily money, but to gain more in the practical, physical world. Maybe they're trying to like, I don't know, get a head up on a job, or it could be money related, or, you know, to get a certain status, or to I don't know what I'm trying to say. When it comes to Pentacles, it tends to be like, oh, status, like everyday things, money, job, that kind of stuff. So I feel like they're definitely coming in and it's all about them and their energy. Like normally this card is like great if you get it for yourself, because it's like, yes, you're stepping into your power. But when it's coming up next to the moon, it's almost like they're doing it to, what's the word I'm looking for? They're doing it with the wrong intentions. They're trying to wear a mask so you don't see the bad intentions behind it. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Let me pull one more card. I did pull the Take a Reality Check card, and this to me feels like some of your intuition is definitely right about this person, but that doesn't mean you have to keep letting it be the story that you're telling yourself. You don't have to let it keep holding this power over you. So like when I feel like it says take a reality check, it's like taking a reality check on your emotions and saying like, all right, sure, I've got confirmation this is what they're doing, but that doesn't mean they're gonna like keep affecting me. And I'm not going to let this like continue to happen. I'm going to set these boundaries, but I'm just going to pull one more card for you on like how you can, how should you move forward? How should you handle this? And I pulled the past lives card by my words tonight, but I also think that past lives come up when we need to look at like this current life in the past. So you probably have a history with this person, and so maybe resolving some old feelings around them. I mean, I don't know if it's possible to talk to them, but releasing the idea of like who they should be or who they were, and kind of understanding that, you know, the person that's in front of you now might not be the same, and maybe, you know, there's some old wounds that you're holding on to, and because of that you're not able to move forward or kind of put boundaries around this situation, or it could legitimately be that this is like past life related. But ultimately what this card is saying is like focus on the emotions first, focus on letting go of the things that are still harming you and keeping you kind of in the victim mentality. Because as much as we set boundaries, if we can't ever tell ourselves that like we deserve to have those boundaries, it becomes a lot harder to set them. I hope that makes sense. I'm sorry that's happening to you, Mama Moth. I hope it gets better. But I think here your guides are kind of telling you like, even if it is like, you can set the intention that they are not going to keep affecting you. I think that's the big thing that they want to take away with. Oh, gotcha. Awaken Within. It's probably better to like send me an email about that, because not in the best place to talk about like collabs right now, but definitely willing to like hear you out. All right, you guys. Let me see if I had anything else for you. I think that's it. Remember to follow me on Facebook, on Instagram. If you're not already subscribed here, please do so. If you want to see when I'm going to be live next, I do have a schedule linked down below. And it's always on my link tree as well if you ever need to find it. But I think that's it. I really want to spend more time with you guys, but I also need to go to bed on time. It's this double-edged sword. Of course, Mama Muff. Alrighty. You can find it Awaken Within. You've emailed me before, I believe. But you can find it through my website. It's like also on my YouTube, I believe. Time to feed Ash. Oh, yes, because husband has probably not fed him. Alrighty, you guys. Thank you so much. I will see you not next week, but the following week. Alrighty. Have a good night. Adios.